In this video, we're gonna teach you how to plan a trip to Yellowstone.
I'm walking down the street on clouds instead of the concrete I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way. Nothing can ruin my day, no matter what anyone does or say. I smile at fools. No, I don't care, cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm gonna rise up. No, I won't stop, it is my time.
Hey, you guys! Thanks for joining us on another journey. Today, we're at Yellowstone National Park.
I'm April. This is Wayne.
We're Go Travel on the Cheap.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Yellowstone National Park is huge, massive. It is 251 miles of roads and 2.2 million acres of rapidly changing land, and covers 3 states, Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. I highly suggest checking the National Park's website before your trip, and as you're traveling, things change often on there, and your plans are going to need to change with it, especially during the COVID times.
When packing for your trip, make sure you have clothes of all kinds because the weather is very volatile and it has been known to snow there in the middle of the summer. Ideally, bring layers, especially if you're going to go on a hike. You're going to want to have more than just shorts and a t-shirt, even if you're there in the summer. And even if it is a typical warm summer day, it still cools off pretty quickly.
Yeah, if you can bring a cooler with you to make sandwiches, I highly suggest it. There are places to eat in Yellowstone. It's difficult to get in and out of the park to find a restaurant.
Yes, and they have plenty of picnic areas. Side note, make sure you bring plenty of water and wear some hiking boots.
Yeah, we always suggest getting a camel bag. You can pick one up at any of your sporting stores where you have plenty of water. They typically hold a liter or more. That way you don't run out of water. And the reason for the hiking boots is so you don't fall down the trail.
Wait, what? That's why you wear... No! I had no idea!
Most people don't understand. Look when Izzy came out and he's got flip-flops on trying to hike in Yellowstone.
You gotta have shoes with grip.
Plenty of traction. They're different than tennis shoes.
Also, don't forget to bring some sunscreen.
Yeah, watch April.
Have no shame. Travel tip for you. When you're getting ready for your Yellowstone vacation, we highly suggest that you go on a walk or a hike once or twice a week. This will make the walking and hiking in Yellowstone more easy.
And break in those new hiking boots. That way you don't wind up with blisters. Let's talk about airports that you can fly into to see Yellowstone National Park. The closest airport to Yellowstone is West Yellowstone Airport. It's only about a 10-minute drive from the park entrance.
Bozeman International Airport is about an hour and a half from Yellowstone's north entrance. This airport is especially convenient if you're planning to visit both Yellowstone and Geyser National Parks, which we highly recommend Geyser as well.
Idaho Falls Regional Airport is about 2.5 hours from the west entrance of Yellowstone. Keep in mind that each one of these little towns has lots of activities to do besides the park. The largest airport for the west entrance is Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport. It's about a 2-hour drive from the park.
Yellowstone Regional Airport is in Cody, Wyoming, which is about an hour from the east entrance of the park. Cody is the year-round aviation gateway to Yellowstone. Jackson Hole Airport is inside Grand Teton National Park. This makes it very easy to visit both Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks. And it's about an hour drive to Yellowstone's south entrance. The main reason why people fly into Salt Lake City, Utah is because there are very limited flights coming and going from those other smaller airports. This gives you access to Utah's Mighty 5 national parks as well. See card above.
For Utah's National Park playlist.
There are 5 entrances.
You should plan on no less than 1 day per section of the park.
West Yellowstone is probably the most popular. Everything from gift shops, restaurants, bars, campgrounds with camping cabins, hotels, probably Airbnbs as well. But if you want to save some money, we suggest that you go a little further out. About a 30-minute drive from West Yellowstone is Island Park, Idaho.
The south entrance of Yellowstone will actually give you access to a second national park, which Grand Tetons should definitely be on your list. It's only about a 57-mile drive, about an hour and a half from the south entrance of Yellowstone to Jackson, Wyoming.
We love Grand Teton National Park, definitely worth stopping in.
But don't be fooled, this park is not small. You cannot do it in a day. You will be sadly disappointed. The east entrance to Yellowstone is just outside of Cody, Wyoming. It's only about 52 miles. All of these roads are amazing to drive down. Cook City and Silver Gate are just outside of the northeast entrance of Yellowstone. This one's quick, it's only 4 miles.
Gardner, Montana is about 5 miles from Yellowstone's north entrance. Again, if you're like us and looking to save some money on accommodations, we suggest driving about an hour and a half to Bozeman, Montana.
You don't need to stay in the park, especially if you didn't make plans or reservations in advance, which I'm notorious for doing.
We have found that staying further out of the park saves you money.
Saves you a lot of money. You know, don't be scared to drive a little bit. All the scenery out there is magnificent.
We prefer to stay in a different town when we visit Yellowstone. That way, we don't have to keep driving through the same sections of the park. We get to see different sections each day.
If you have the National Parks Pass, obviously you can get into both of those parks. Both of those parks about cost you almost what a National Parks Pass costs. So it's definitely worth picking one up. If you're over the age of 62, you can always get the Golden Life Pass as well, and that way you can visit the parks for the rest of your life for free. I highly suggest park that car, get on a hike. That's where you're going to see the animals. That's where you're going to just be mind blown of how magnificent this park truly is.
Come on.
You give us an excuse to take a break.
The people going up get the right of way.
Yep, that's actually the hiking rule.
Hey, even if hiking isn't your thing, there's still plenty of other things for you to do.
Yeah, park the car, and there's plenty of boardwalks that are nice, easy strolls. Even if you are handicapped, there's a lot of places that you can still visit and get out and explore the elements. Pets are allowed in the park, but they're kept to the parking lots and the main areas. They're not allowed on the boardwalks or the trails.
They must be on a leash that is not longer than 6 feet in length at all times, and they're prohibited from all of Yellowstone's backcountry.
Internet is very limited on your phones as well, so I always suggest downloading any of the maps that you need, music, entertainment.
Entertainment? Yellowstone's the entertainment.
Absolutely, but you do like music when we're...
Of course, you gotta have music.
Gotta have music. And it's nice to have some maps, because nothing seems to work in there most of the time.
Right. Most national parks do not have
And that's
cell
the
service.
advantage. Throw your phone out the window. Just take pictures with it.
Yes, get you unplugged. Bonding with nature. Another thing you want to be sure to include when you're planning your Yellowstone trip is to bring some binoculars for all of the animal sightings like bears, elk, moose, bison, wolves.
A lot of times they're further away as well. Do not approach wildlife. It's dangerous.
Pro tip, you're gonna want to get into the park early. That's the best time to spot animals, wildlife.
Get there before sunrise or before dusk. Best time to see animals. When you're in the national park at dusk or dawn, drive extra slow, even on the areas outside of the park, because that's when the animals are out more than the rest of the day. They see your lights and they do crazy things like run at your car. When you're looking at getting that bear spray, I know you're going to be tempted by that $3 bear bell, but do not buy the bear bell. All it does is scare the bears away, which means you don't see the bears or any of the other animals. Only bear spray.
Must see in Yellowstone.
Old Faithful is just pure power.
The mathematical average between eruptions of Old Faithful is currently 74 minutes, but it doesn't like to act average. Intervals can range from 60 to 110 minutes. Visitors can check for posted prediction times in most buildings in the Old Faithful area. Discovered in 1870 by the Washburn Expedition, Old Faithful was named for its frequent and somewhat predictable eruptions. can vary in height from 100 to 180 feet with an average near 130 to 140 feet. Eruptions normally last between 1.5 minutes to 5 minutes. While Old Faithful is amazing, there's so much more to Yellowstone.
Absolutely. I would say that's probably one of the main attractions, but it's really not the main attraction. Everything is the main attraction.
It's so diverse.
Yeah, it changes so rapidly. I'm gonna be on this little concrete trail to go see a redwood petrified tree. It is definitely worth just a quick stop. It is interesting to see a tree that turned into a rock.
West Thumb Paint Pots and Lake. I really enjoyed visiting West Thumb and seeing Yellowstone Lake back in June. I hadn't been there in years and years and years, and it's such a cool area. It's butt up right against the Yellowstone Lake. There's all sorts of paint pots and bubblies underneath the water.
Yeah, it's an active volcano, and it's just something that you're not going to see anywhere else in the world. In fact, Yellowstone has more than half of all the geysers in the world are in Yellowstone.
And I really like, there are a couple of very, very pretty pools at the West Thumb area.
Oh, the colors, magnificent.
I love Grand Prismatic Spring, but that can be so overrun by tourists that it was fun to see the beautiful turquoisey colors. Firehole Falls River and Canyon.
This is easy drive.
It's just a one-way, little veer off the main road.
Beautiful along the river. The waterfalls is incredible. Unfortunately, you just can't describe Yellowstone but any one way, but incredible, amazing, awesome.
I think it's fascinating about the canyon walls and how they were formed from lava.
Yeah, lava flow's 400 feet tall, right?
Yeah, from like 800,000 years ago or something like that. A sea cart above.
The waterfall at Yellowstone Grand Canyon is just pure power of water rushing. It's as magnificent as Niagara Falls, in my opinion. The Norris Geyser Basin Complete Loop Trail is about 2.9 miles. The trail is best used between March and October. Norris Geyser Basin, you need to take the boardwalks very seriously. People have died out here by getting off of these boardwalks. You can burn up if you get off of those boardwalks.
You're so dramatic.
Somebody just died there.
No, I know. But it's very, very pleasant. There are some steps down, but it's very accessible. Take your time on the steps and enjoy the otherworldly landscape that you'll find along the boardwalks of Norris Geyser Basin.
I really enjoyed hiking Tower Falls, but unfortunately,
the road between Tower Roosevelt and Chittenden is completely closed until May of 2022. The Mammoth Hot Springs Loop is about 3.5 miles. There are a lot of steps. It's a really different waterfall than you've ever seen before. We highly suggest coming to check this out. This is one of the fastest changing places in Yellowstone. If you want to see something really interesting, check out the card above. And this trail is best used between April and October. The Gibson Falls is super easy. It's right off the road. Just park, walk on a concrete path. Pretty much anybody can view this. Absolutely amazing. Go check out Nevada City's Living Museum. I had fun. I had a great time. I love exploring ghost towns. Even though this is a museum, I highly suggest putting this on the list. It's a quick drive from the west entrance of Yellowstone. An easy day trip. Nevada City is right next to Virginia City, which is fun. Has several shops and restaurants, cool old-timey stuff. I think it's definitely worth it for both Nevada City and Virginia City in Montana. If you feel like we're missing anything, we welcome your input, so please comment below. We want to thank you guys for watching our video all the way to the end. If you would, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and like always, thank you for living life.